only one haulage firm getting those trains onto the right tracks. It's Train Truckers.
Ready to rock and roll. Falcon Tires sponsors characters on Dave. Two enormous, legendary steam-powered locomotives. Can one crew haul both precious engines across the country to deliver them in time for a show-stopping event?
I mean, we might still get there, but it's doubtful.
A 126-ton heavyweight champion used to haul record-breaking cargo.
The Class 66 is one of the heaviest locos that we would move in the UK.
Can this team transport this Goliath over 200 miles across land?
There she goes.
And sea without sinking to doom?
Glad I'm not out there in that rain.
The crews must battle tight winding roads,
We need some more rock now. Right, keep going.
heavy metal, and hold-ups.
Slight problem, all the brakes are on this locomotive.
A titanic task, even for the world's toughest train truckers. Slicing a path through the Hampshire countryside runs a unique railway, a heritage line called the Mid-Hants. Steam-powered time machines whisk more than 130,000 visitors a year back to a forgotten era. Today, workers on the railway are gearing up for their biggest event of the year, their annual autumn steam gala.
We've got 3 days of intensive steam train running with goods trains, local trains, branch line things. But yeah, we'll burn in the midnight oil a little bit to get it all set up.
6 steam locomotives will be on show at this year's gala event. Among them, 2 very special guests of honour. One is called Foxcote Manor. The other is called Large Prairie 5199. Both locomotives were designed for the illustrious Great Western Railway.
There was just something about the Great Western Railway that people loved. It oozes class, quality. It became the word in fast trains. It was just one of the biggest companies in the world, and it just did it with such flair and style.
At its peak, the Great Western Railway was made up of 3,797 miles of track. It stretched as far north as Manchester and as far south as Penzance. The Large Prairie currently resides here, in the shadows of the Denbighshire Hills. It operates along a heritage railway that runs through Llangollen. A dedicated team of enthusiasts maintains this precious engine.
This is Great Western Large Prairie Class 5199. It's a locomotive that was built in December 1934 in Swindon Workshops in Wiltshire, where all the Great Western locomotives were actually built.
Of the 140 large prairies that were built, today just 2 remain in steam.
God.
A number of locomotives, in fact about 200 of them, all ended up in a scrapyard in South Wales. This one cost us £6,000 plus VAT. That was in 1985.
34 years on, the Large Prairie is fully restored. But the engine hasn't got a licence to operate on the mainline railway that runs down to Hampshire. The only way to get it there is by road.
That's when Emily come in.
Now there's any haulage.
Heavy hauling specialists, Allalese, are masters at moving trains by road.
Okay, where's your bar again?
With 10 crews and a yard full of heavy haulage hardware, they can handle the toughest train trucking missions.
Class 37. With real blue.
5199, man. Got some mid-ounce.
The crew need to collect the Large Prairie engine from Llangollen on Tuesday morning and navigate it 210 miles to Hampshire. On Wednesday morning, they'll unload and head 147 miles to the West Somerset Railway, where they'll load up the second engine, Foxcote Manor. If everything goes to plan, 3 days and 504 epic miles later, both engines should reach their destination in time for the spectacular steam gala. It's Tuesday morning. At the wheel today is Zach Bancroft. just 30, he's the youngest driver on the heavy haulage team. First challenge, navigate the 24-metre trailer into the tight rail yard.
Right. Okay, keep going.
It's down to Zach's second man, Alex Whitehouse, to steer the trailer from behind.
All good, mate. Go on.
Trailer in place, the crew set to work. To load the engine, they must first build a ramp from the trailer to the rails. This will allow them to use a high-powered winch to pull the locomotive onto the trailer. They need to make sure that they support the ramp. A weak ramp could bend and collapse, wrecking this historic engine.
Yep, and the rail that goes for the track.
Reinforced ramp is ready to go.
Let's see where Mr. Shunterman is then.
Is that the one we're having right there?
No. No, that's a baby one.
The large prairie is nowhere to be seen.
Hello. Hello, Kev. If possible.
A scout of the yard reveals the engine is buried deep, blocked by other engines and wagons. They need it shooting clear.
Can't get
What
in.
the hell's it doing there?
Just waiting to get in. Occasionally it happens.
Oh, there's Thomas.
Just wait for them to finish and then we'll crack on with it.
Rearranging the wagons in the congested loading yard is a painfully slow process.
I'll get the winch straight on.
Finally, the large prairie is ready to be winched up onto the trailer.
Okay. And the last one. Just go a little bit more, mate, please. Hold it there. I am happy with that.
The large prairie is loaded and locked. But with 2 engines to deliver in just 3 days, Zach wanted to be well on his way by now.
4:15. Is it?
I know. Day's wasted.
Ain't gonna get all the way today,
Nah. Loading the loco was fine, no issues. Everything went to plan, ran smoothly. It's just a bit late in the day.
That went to plan, but
It's doubtful, it's looking doubtful. So obviously it puts things back. I'd say we're half a day behind already.
Half a day could make all the difference if both engines are going to make it to the Mid-Hant Steam Gala on time.
Keep going. Keep coming. All clear. Road is your type code.
well,
But guiding this 28-metre-long, 128-ton truck around this nightmare 90-degree turn will test Zach's mettle.
Just try, Alex. Try and get out without going up that curve. Just keep it nice and tight. Right, you're right. I can't jump where I am. I'm about 3 inches off the wall on my left corner. I've got to come backwards. I can't go forward. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
It takes 10 minutes of painstaking steering to shuffle the engine out of the yard. The pressure is now on escort driver Jason Priest.
This car is going to be a blue Volkswagen.
To navigate a path through the busy lanes.
This is going to be interesting, isn't it? Do you want me to come around you?
And out onto the main road.
Let me see.
Yeah, we're not clear yet at the moment. As soon as this car's gone,
What was it?
now then. And then, one.
All good, mate, all good.
Daylight disappearing and 190 miles still to cover, this locomotive won't be pulling into its destination tonight.
I'm just going to take this back to the yard, mate, and just write the day off.
Welcome.
Part 2 coming up.
It's day 2 of Zach and Alex's 3-day race to deliver 2 historic locomotives to a spectacular steam gala in Hampshire.
The castle and Last Prairie.
They have
Ridge Rail.
125 miles left to travel to deliver their first engine, the large Prairie 5199, after an overnight stop at their headquarters.
Of course, it's always nice to go back, but we've lost half day, so really we should have been down there last night. So the next one we should have been loading this afternoon is now going to be tomorrow morning. So yeah, that's that roll-on effect all the way through the week.
Zach's 680 brake horsepower, heavy haulage truck was only built as a left-hand drive, which makes junctions like this a nightmare to navigate.
You have to tell me because,
Okay. After this van, it's completely clear. Go on.
I haven't got a gear yet. Go on now.
Now? No. On there. So another van, after that, it's completely clear.
Zach and Alex are en route to the historic Midhants Railway here in Hampshire.
The railway was built in the 1860s. It was a link from Winchester to Alton. One of the main reasons for the railway existing is actually a way of getting watercress into London on the same day, which is something that had never been able to happen before.
Unfortunately, the capital's desire for the peppery garnish wasn't enough to sustain the line.
The railway was closed in the early 1970s, and a group of enthusiasts got together and purchased the track and the rail from Alsford to Rockley, and that's the railway we have now. It's just a shade over 10 miles long.
It has taken Zach and Alex over 4 hours to reach the historic railway line.
God.
Once again, but won't stop us. It's nothing to worry about.
I'm laid behind. You can't let it stop you now.
Fast, so they can get back on the road to pick up the second engine.
Hold it. Yo, move slack.
But the large Prairie is stuck.
It's just come behind the shin.
A small, raised piece of metal called a shim is creating enough resistance to stop the engine in its tracks. One solution would be to unhook the winch from the rear, move the truck to the front, and pull the locomotive over the obstacle. But with nothing to hold the loco back, it could roll rapidly out of control.
Right into the truck and you rail.
You animal. Just sat on the ship.
Time for plan B. Ratchet the 78-ton beast over the ridge. By hand.
Come on. Like that. Off you go.
Or a forklift or a car or something who could have pulled it very carefully.
They keep a close eye on the engine as it rolls back onto the railway tracks.
Just got to the point where it's trying to go uphill. It's not going to roll anymore. So we'll hold it there and I'll bring the shunter down.
Ooh, that's no right. I find like there's more and more.
One locomotive.
This is the first all. Yeah, right. Jumpers.
One to go.
We should be there tonight, ready for loading as soon as it's light really in the morning.
This is Europort in Rotterdam. It's one of Europe's busiest sea terminals, handling up to 8 million containers a year. A unique train engine is waiting here for the Annelies crew to collect. It's called the Class 66. This is one of the world's hardest working locomotives. It's designed to haul massive freight loads from coal to cars.
Class 66 is a good piece of kit. It is reliable, it can pull a lot, it will get the job done.
The locomotive was designed and built in America.
Really?
455 were manufactured for use on railways across the world.
I did not know that about
In
66.
Europe, in Belgium, Netherlands, Germany particularly.
This Class 66 belongs to a Swiss operator. It needs transporting to the UK to undergo a special service.
Crossrail.
Its owners need it back, working on the rails as soon as possible, so time is of the essence. The crew need to load the locomotive onto a trailer, so they can truck it onto a ferry bound for the UK.
Okay, yeah, 66, right, that's it, good size loco.
These truckers have both the kit and the cunning to move this 126-ton rail freight heavyweight.
The Class 66 is one of the heaviest locos that we move in the UK. So you've got to make sure you've got the right piece of equipment that will shift it from a ball from the bottom ferry.
The crew
From A
need
to
to
B.
travel just 150 metres when they arrive in Rotterdam, as the Class 66 is sitting waiting on the dockside. Once loaded, they must carefully drive onto the ferry. It's then a 204-mile, 11-hour sea crossing to reach the port of Hull. Once they arrive, they need to carefully disembark and travel to the other side of the port before they can unload the engine back onto railway tracks. The team need to load the Class 66 onto this ferry, the pride of Rotterdam. It's 215 metres long, well over twice the length of a standard football pitch. It has 530 cabins, it can carry 1,360 passengers, and its loading decks will swallow 250 vehicles. So there's plenty of room for super-sized low loaders. The team's big guns arrive in Rotterdam. This 13-axle, 104-wheeled modular trailer is designed to carry the heaviest of engines. Heading up this international excursion is Ian Baglati. With 38 years of trucking experience, Ian's one of the team's longest-serving drivers.
Just taking the straps off the ramp, tidying them up, waiting for the forklift to arrive.
First task, use a forklift to assemble this ramp. It's been built specially to support heavyweight locomotives like the Class 66. Joining Ian on this European adventure is second man Jamie Turnbull.
Oh, blimey, that's a lot more simpler ramp.
66, Ian needs to reverse the trailer so it's lined up with the dockside railway lines and the ramp. If the trailer or ramps are misaligned,
Not an angle.
this massive freight engine could derail and come crashing to the ground.
Yeah, not rocket
The
science
ship
that.
sails in 9 hours' time. They need to hook up the winch and start hauling the engine.
Already.
But just as they get going,
Nice and steady because I think the brakes are on.
they hit a problem.
Everyone's usually off. Right, we have a slight problem. All the brakes are on this locomotive. Move it.
Stupid.
On a deserted dock 380 miles from base, Ian turns detective.
Right, crank handle. Something's got to go in there. Parking. Yeah, something's got to go in there to turn it. I think you turn that and it releases it off, but I'm not sure. I would have thought that only releases the front.
Finding a qualified driver around here to help could take hours.
Well, I should be there, for heaven's sake. To help load the thing on.
Ian and Jamie need to release the engine's brakes fast, or they'll miss the ferry.
It'd be disappointing.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
We've come over here, spent the time on the boat.
Stupid is that?
Yeah, it would be a bit annoying.
It's It's 7:30 in the morning, and Zach and Alex are at the West
Oh
Somerset
my
Rail,
days.
getting set to load up the second engine that needs hauling to the steam gala in Hampshire.
We got into the railway last night at 8 o'clock. Just put the trailer on the line and that was it. My dinner last night consumed of bread, butter and marmite. Lots of it.
Yesterday was plagued by delays, so Zach needs the next move to run like clockwork. Today they are loading the 69-year-old engine, Foxcote Manor. The Manor class engines were first built by the Great Western Railway in 1938. Foxcote Manor was part of a second consignment, commissioned in 1950 by the newly formed British Rail. These locomotives were lightweight and fast, designed to haul both freight and passengers. But by 1965, all of the Manor class locomotives had been withdrawn from service.
Foxcote was sent to Barry
When the diesels come in.
1966, and it stayed there until 1974 when it was rescued from the scrapyard by the Foxcote Manor Society.
With their ramp built, Zach and Alex are ready to start loading.
Let's take the wheel on, alright, yeah? And the next. And the last one.
Lovely. Inch by inch, wheel by wheel, they painstakingly haul the 70-ton engine onto the trailer.
Slowly to you.
70 tons, and
Oh, there
that's just the loco without the tender on his own. 70 tons.
Right. Could you put your chuck in tight, please, yeah?
Providing this don't twang, this will be a perfect one.
Loaded and locked,
That was perfect.
Foxcote Manor is finally good to go.
Part 3 coming up.
Alex and Foxcote Manor to hit the road.
Right, you swing it over to the curve on the left and just keep it about a foot up.
To deliver the engine, Zach and Alex need to first detour around Taunton's busy town centre. Then head 147 miles east to reach Hampshire
To the
and
Mid-Hants.
Railway. First obstacle, a tight turn.
One of the many tight turns and corners on the trip from A to B.
Alex may be able to control the trailer's rear wheels, but this roundabout is too tight for the 28-metre truck to negotiate.
So here comes the wheels.
If they attempt to take the roundabout in the normal way, the truck would become wedged between the centre and the barriers, blocking the road to oncoming traffic. But Zach and Alex have a plan.
We are
Again, it's not rocket science.
coming from this direction. It's going to be wrong side in the roundabout here. And that's far too tight to get around.
Shall I start coming out then?
Yes, mate, start going now. Still clear your line. Still very clear.
We'll see the end of that line in a second.
I can see it to the edge. Go on, keep going.
Right, if you can just tell them, the cars that is, just to stay there and then just come to the back of the trailer.
This manoeuvre isn't in the highway code.
Well, that was a pretty good idea, I must say myself. Cuts out all that bend around the circle, the turns out around the circle of the roundabout.
It's midday and there are 123 miles still to go. They must get a move on as Foxcote Manor needs to be under steam before the end of the day.
How's 66 doing?
In Rotterdam, Ian and Jamie are on a mission to load the supersized Class 66 freight engine onto their trailer.
It's now 1 o'clock. So, the way to go down now.
It's booked on the 8:30 ferry tonight, bound for the UK. But with its brakes locked on, right now, it's going nowhere.
This fella here is the man who's going to take all the brakes off the train for me. We hope.
Something you need to.
As easy as that. As easy as that.
Easy as that, yes.
With the brakes finally off, Ian and Jamie must start loading. Time is tight.
There she goes. Just making sure that the wheels go up onto the ramp without any issues.
He should have been notified when he turned up, because he would have been there. You should have it on standby all the time on a job like that.
Yeah, everything's fine. All good.
With the engine loaded,
Over there, man.
they ensure it stays put.
One pulling back from there down to that, but the rest of them pulling forward.
It takes 24 metres of chains to secure this 126-ton giant. They race to pack up the ramp.
The plan now, we finished tying this down, and then go and sit round by the boat and wait till it called on.
Vehicles are already being guided onto the ferry. Positioning a load as heavy as the Class 66 on a ship takes great skill.
When loading a locomotive,
Diesel as big as that. Yeah.
down to the weight to make sure it's equally distributed across the deck and it's in the right spot, and to make sure that the ship leaves the port level, so that it's not listing to one side or to the other side.
The crew must place heavy cargo at the boat's stern. So Ian's 212-ton truck will be the last vehicle to board.
Wait, what am I?
Where the Range Rover is. This side, mate, this side. See where the Range Rover is, this side.
Okay.
Typical, mate, all good.
Guiding this monster trailer across the ferry's ramp is a challenge in the lashing rain.
Don't get too close out to my side, mate, please.
Yeah, typical, mate. Just go up to the ramp. Nice and steady, watch the horns, keep on it.
The angle of the ramp changes between the edge of the dock and the ferry. This creates a lip that can catch the underside of the trailer. A bump or knock here could unbalance the oversized load.
Yeah, which you don't want.
Lift the back and further.
So,
They use
raise.
hydraulics to raise the
Yep.
height of the trailer so it will clear the ramp.
Exactly. That's what they're there for. And then once it's gone over that, we adjust it to fit it into the cargo.
I don't think they're going to get that because I can't see a thing.
Come back nice and straight out, it won't be too bad, keep on it. 4 metres, nice and steady then. 2, keep on it, mate. 1 metre, nice and steady then. Somewhere there, mate, will do, I reckon.
Okay, mate?
I'll blow that up, yeah?
Okay. All good, mate.
Train, on truck, on boat. Job done.
Just a few issues. Obviously,
closed.
lifting the
Ship.
motor in the trailer
Too
to
big for a
get
boat.
over the expand ramp onto the boat, but no major problems. It was fine. It's just a case of leaving it now. The gents on the boat to tie it all down, make sure it's safe for sea.
Yeah, I thought they were P&O.
Pop onto the boat now, get our rooms.
Yep, yes it is.
Relax with a couple of beers for the night.
I was drinking myself some lemonade or something, I don't know.
In Hampshire,
What's going in now? Oh, mate, thank you.
Foxcote Manor is just one very tight corner away from its destination.
Go on then. Take it forwards.
Zach hands control of the rear wheels over to Alex.
Keep going, go on. You're okay. Go on.
Jeez, God.
Go on, mate. Go on.
Yeah, he's tight.
Alright, on that inside curve and the bill and the cap, yeah? Loads of room up the inside, right? Go on. Going around nice now.
So he had halls, manors,
This will be a tight squeeze.
and castles of kinds of engine like that.
Go on. Keep going.
They make it into the rail yard.
That tender, the rail, how far are the wheels from the end of the rail? Still got another 4 foot.
But there's not enough room to unload.
Yeah, I was wondering about the tender.
As far back as you can. Is that alright? Just give us a bit more room, because at the minute I won't get the truck in behind.
What we need to do is push that backwards 4 foot, so we've got maximum amount of space to work with. Looking quite tight. No problem, mate.
Better than that. Brake on, please, Jack.
They're in a race against daylight to unload the engine. Foxcote Manor's chief engineer Martin Fuller isn't hanging around either.
We haven't got much time. We are doing a kind of fitness to run exam, so 2 boilers left. So just climb in there. So he's checking the firebox. Can't light the fire until he's satisfied that yeah, it's fit for purpose.
It's time to unload this great western heavyweight.
Right. Slowly to you. You. Go.
Like large prairie, Foxcote Manor needs some gentle persuasion to roll off the trailer.
Yeah,
Just that on the
bring it back a little bit at spin, and whoever you're giving nudge to move forward and down.
Zach keeps careful watch. If the ramp moves, all 70 tons of this vintage engine will come crashing to the ground.
God, don't jinx it now.
Job done. 2 steam locomotives delivered in time for the gala. Just.
It's gone well, everything's gone to plan. A little bit slower than we'd like. Really, this should have been off sort of lunchtime today, but it's here, ready.
That's what really matters.
So,
And in one piece.
Zach and Alex need fuel of their own.
Never mind your stomach for a little bit, I can wait for a little bit longer.
It's red. They call it a kebab.
See you later.
By the time the things come round into steam, a bit of oiling and reflect it onto the tender, we're going to be well out of hours for a pint.
Foxcote is timetabled to be the first engine out tomorrow. The pressure is well and truly on.
Part 4 coming up.
More than 10 million tons of freight and 1 million passengers pass through this vital transport hub every year. On board the Pride of Rotterdam ferry, Ian's team waits to disembark with the 126-ton freight train.
What's breakfast? Ready for another day.
Just waiting for the doors to open so we can get some air into the trailer, start the truck up. So we can load the trailer and get ready to get off the boat.
The car decks are full, but no one can go anywhere until this door is fixed. The owners of the Class 66 want it serviced and back in Switzerland as fast as possible. Delays like this are not welcome.
Well, tell that to the P&O.
It takes 30 minutes to get the 20-ton loading doors open.
What's the ramp road?
The last little bit is a bit sharp, you might have to manipulate with it, but never too late.
How much you said it?
There's a shipload of trucks waiting to disembark, but driving this monster engine down the slippery ramp can't be rushed.
Still lower, keep going. Keep going. Also steady then. Just coming down a sharp bit now, keep going. Keep going. Go on. Yeah, all good.
The truck is finally off the boat.
I'm going to be sat on here too long.
Next task, Ian needs to take the Class 66 a short distance to the port's rail tracks.
Go on, mate, all good. Keep going, mate. Keep going. Look, we're on the door, mate, go on.
Once unloaded, the engine will be shunted to a depot where it will be overhauled.
Go on, mate. Go on.
Can't pull that with that much lock on.
Yeah, it's coming off now, go on.
Okay. We're just waiting for our truck to come round now with the ramp. He'll set that up behind us, and then we'll back up to him. And here he is as we speak. Come on, Royston!
The delays on the ferry put Ian's team under extra pressure to unload. But there's a problem. The team have been building the ramp in the wrong place. Part of the dockside is suspended on pillars. This means it can only support vehicles weighing less than 180 tons. If Ian and
very
Jamie
clever.
unload the locomotive here, when the shunter arrives
Oh,
to take it
extra
away,
weight, yep.
the combined weight of the two engines could trigger a catastrophic collapse.
Oh, very clever.
Right.
This is a bit more than he's there.
I'll have to move down.
The ramp has to move.
Oh, how stupid is that?
That should do.
And reset.
Christ's sake.
20 minutes later,
Why was the foundation built like in the first place
Ian's
without support?
team
So?
are finally ready to roll.
Come straight back up the alley, should be alright. Go on then, keep coming. Ready. Bit more. Higher. Just blocking the back of the trailer, so it keeps it all supported.
It's time to get the Class 66 back on the tracks. With 126 tons of rolling mass, the engine slips off the trailer Mission complete.
We're all done then?
Ian and Jamie pack up and head out.
There you go.
Once at the service depot, it will take 3 months for engineers to overhaul this giant and get it back hauling freight along the tracks. It's the morning of the Great Steam Gala in Hampshire, and the steam is well and truly rising. Enthusiasts are arriving on the platforms for a packed timetable headed up by the 2-star Great Western engines. Large Prairie's boiler has just been topped up, while late-night arrival Foxcote Manor is in the station, and more importantly, in steam.
So as you can see, we finished putting the engine together. We got some steam in it, and we got it up here fairly late last night. Last engine on last night, first engine off this morning, and the driver's just turning up. She's all ready to go. Well, this is what it's all about, isn't it? Glorious October morning, absolutely beautiful sunrise, and steam engines everywhere, the atmosphere, fantastic. This is why we do it.
The platform is beginning to fill up, and expectations are high.
Particular interest in Great Western Loco, so you know the fact that foxcote Manor's here, and they've also got a large prairie that's made it rather special.
I've come up from Sussex to see the manor that they've got. I like anything different, so if there's something I haven't seen before, then it'll attract me.
I used to live in the West Midlands, and we were on the Great Western, so it's actually one for 50 or 60 years, so it's nice to actually see one again.
Steam junkies have travelled from far and wide to see 2 Great Western locos. And here they are. The team have worked their magic. Foxcote Manor is pulling in tandem with Large Prairie 5199. The Steam Gala is
Double header.
truly up and running.
It's pretty intensive. It's a lot of effort for 3 days, but it's a bit of fun. It's a lot for the volunteers and the enthusiasts. You know, it's a good bit of fun for them.
But the stars of the show are the 2 legends of the Great Western Railway.
By bringing in different engines from different railways, it brings enthusiasts back to see something different. Hopefully it fills the till up with a bit of luck.
So they both may have BR logos on them. The original were got GWR for tend to BR.
Next today, the team are on a mission to put any classic car, no matter its condition, back on the road. Repair lot is coming up.